Call the meeting to order.
Excusing this now.
We'll start with a pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah, I know. Okay. If everyone's had a chance to look over the minutes, may I get a motion to accept the minutes as distributed?
I'll move that. I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. Citizens' comments this evening. Is there anybody that would like to speak about town business? Yes, sir?
Go ahead.
You got to stand up first.
Good afternoon. My name's Chuck McFadden. I live at 3682 Hayes Road. And I'm just wondering if you could give me an update on our no parking signs that we're hoping to get installed.
The highway superintendent is working with the county, and he's waiting on them to get together.
Okay. I just have some pictures I'd like to leave with you guys that kind of illustrates the problem, just so you know a little bit better.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I kind of feel like Jimmy Walker in that Medicaid commercial. Hey, it's
Got the
me.
same haircut?
Hey, it's me again. Hopefully by the end of the day, I'll be saying dynamite. Okay, bring us up to date. At the previous two meetings, I showed you that we have not only a speeding problem, I tried to probably convey that we have a public safety issue out here. And this map from the outsides of the road is not to scale, but the actual road and the vehicles that I'm going to put up here are to scale. As measured, I personally measured the road and the vehicles that I'm putting up there. These red lines show you the difference in elevation in the road, just to kind of get you going with that. The citizens of the hamlet of Lysander want and deserve both access to the roadway and some sense of public safety and peace of mind. Now I go out and get the mail for some of my neighbors and bring it to their door because they're afraid to cross the road. Yet they're able to go down to the end of their driveway and put their garbage can there. They're afraid to go across the road. I don't mind doing it, but I shouldn't have to do it. So, I have already spelled out at the two previous board meetings, if I haven't already spelled out at the previous board meetings, I'll try to do it now, that we have a public safety emergency in Lysander. Let me put some numbers up here for you. 104. That's the new record that I recorded on my radar yesterday. I called 911, police came out and observed it. When they observed that, 4 people went by in the 70s. He's like, let me get in my car and get to work. Went over and parked on my property. About a half an hour later, 85. Highest speed we've got pulled over so far. Next number, I would say 75 to 100. That's the amount of speeding tickets that have been given between Church Road and Lamson Road in the last 5 weeks. I'm hounding them every other day, calling them, come on out, come on out, come on out. Giving them popcorn, ice cream, whatever it takes. So it's not just about speeding. I've identified 13 ways in which I think we can help make that area of our town much safer for both the residents and those traveling through. And if we're able to implement these changes soon, I really believe that we can make a serious improvement to our public safety. Number 1, here's our 30-mile-an-hour speed limit sign. Here's our raise in elevation. We need to get this 30-mile-an-hour speed limit sign moved back before the elevation, approximately an 1/8 to 1/4 mile. We need to put the legal burden of an accident, which is, I've seen 4 or 5 right here. We need to put the legal burden on the speeder, not the person coming and turning down here that can't see because this is blinding his view in the elevation. We need to put the burden on the speeder, pounding it down. And when I've seen the tickets given out, it's been to this person pulling out. And if somebody's going 40 here, there's plenty of room for this person to get out and around. But if they're pounding at 60, 70, there's no room. I need your help in doing that. Number 2, let's get a new, there's our stop sign. It's about 15 feet this way on Church Road. Everybody is pulling down to here. I'll give you an example. Here's my vehicle, dimensions of my vehicle. People have to get to here to see around these. There's no other way around it. And then what's happening, these guys are coming down. And they're not stopping, they're coming out here to go around that. And then what happens, we got something coming the other way, and it's got to get over here. This year alone, I've literally seen 3 wide on Plainville Road. That's fun for NASCAR, but it's not fun for our town. I lost my mailbox. The driver never stopped. He kept on going. I'm presuming because he didn't have insurance or license or something. I've literally seen this 3 or 4 times. It's unacceptable. If we move the stop sign further this way and we paint a stop line like they have on East Mud Lake Road, which has less traffic and a lot less dangerous, which I've already pointed out to you, I think that will go a long way to making this safer. None of that will work if we don't talk to the neighbor and see about getting this trimmed down. I've showed you not only how far it comes out on the street, I've showed you a side view of what the trees look like. They've been butchered all to hell from Niagara, Mohawk, or whoever, cutting them up. And that's basically what they look like to a T. They are approximately 60 yards and 80 yards from the house. He has nice shrubs that he prunes around the house. He never prunes any of these. Just mows around them. They're about maybe 20 feet wide. We need to see about getting them up or removing them. Otherwise, none of this, these people are always going to be pulling into the road to try to get vision here.
Are those trees in a right of way?
I mean, they're right up to the edge. So what I've put down here for you is the yellow line. This is the white line on the road. That's the actual where the grass comes to. And this is the double yellow line. So they come right out to the edge of the curb, these two shrubs. And they're approximately 20 feet in diameter. He mows the big mower all the way around them. I've never seen him prune them once. He is one of the 2 neighbors in a mile radius that I don't happen to get along with. Otherwise, I would walk over there and approach him and ask about, I will do it for free. If he will let me go on the property, I will do it for free. This is the key. That's the key. Now, I see this every day. I saw this 4 or 5 times today. They're speeding down here. They missed the turn because the street sign is so small and it's back here. And what happens, they go down here and they cross the double yellow line. And they back up, and then they do this, and then they come down here. So, Bob, you know it's illegal to cross a double yellow line unless you turn it into a driveway. They don't want to go down here to the next driveway and turn around. Doing the same thing this way. Not going down to the neighbors, turn around right here. And so we've already got jamming, pounding through, and now we're turning over on go. We need to get a bigger street sign installed in a proper spot. One like they got at the rich neighborhoods, like Whispering Oaks and Seneca Estates and Blue Ridge, whatever it is, whatever those neighborhoods are down. They got huge signs. I know we're not on 370, but we need that because we're getting dozens a day that are missing this because they're speeding. So we're getting double whammy. Speeding, miss it, turn around in the middle of the road. This is something I see all the time. It's not happening this year anymore because I made a phone call. But we used to have this. They'd stop, and they'd do this. They come back the other way. They do this, stop, back into this, go the other way. Come down this, pull into here, back up, and go this. I made one phone call. I haven't seen that since I made the phone call. But we got typical tractor trailer doing that every day too. Going up here, nobody getting on the truck, blindly backing up to here, and then coming this way. People ramming it down while they're doing that. So if they don't do it fast enough, we get into a honk fest. We've already showed you that. We need a no U-turn sign right here opposite our new stop sign. Our new oversized stop sign and our stop line. We need a no U-turn sign here. Nobody should be crossing a double yellow line to do a blind U-turn like that. On where we got elevation change here and people going 70 miles an hour. It's unacceptable. I think if we did, I'd put a landscaping feature here and approach the neighbor. Entering the hamlet of Lysander, some flowers, kind of like the little thing they got down at the end of the street here, the old horse trough. Sometimes when people see that, they're renting a community, some people will react to that and slow down. Okay, that's another idea. Another idea I'm thinking about is, remember in the village when Joe and the village board raised the taxes and all the rich people along the river got upset and they put the yard signs out, where's our lake? Remember that?
No.
Where you live, all the neighbors had us, we're city. City remembers it. Where's the lake? They wanted to know where their Skinny Atlas Lake was from the taxes going up. That's public shaming. They're trying to publicly shame their elected officials. I think if I approach my neighbors and go out and pay for yard signs and say, please slow down, we'd accept 40. We got every neighbor to put it in their yard for that section. I'll pay for them. Then some people that are ramming these down through, and they might think it's not just Fred. Maybe it's all the neighbors that we're pissing off. Just Fred's the one that just goes to the town board meeting and says something. So I think that'll help too if I do that. Now I'm gonna approach the neighbors and ask them. Just a couple more things here. Obviously, additional police protection. Again, sitting here on my property next to this fence, right next to the road, they get them from going from both directions. Like I said, some 75 to 100 tickets in the last 5 weeks. I'm so thankful. Sometimes they can only sit there for 5 minutes. Yesterday, they got the guy 85. 7, 8 other tickets. Yes, so I'm so thankful that they do that, and all the neighbors are aware of it, and we love it. We need more of that. I will continue my radar patrols, marked by this red mark and this red mark. I put my display out there to try to publicly shame people going by. You can see the guy that went by yesterday, 85, he saw it in real time before this guy came up and got behind him. I do that maybe 2 days a week. I will continue to do that at my cost. I will continue to cut this area across the street, another person's property, which would normally be weeds coming directly out to the road and cause the same situation that we have here. I've cut this for 20 years. My cost, I will continue to do that. Next thing, we're getting double whammy by the tractor trailers pounding down through here and then jake breaking. I've gone online and I've looked at communities that have a no jake break zone on any place that isn't a highway. And this has got a 45-mile-an-hour zone going into a 30. This is not a highway. But yet, approximately, and this is the only thing I don't have exact figures for, I'm going from what I see in my recollection. Approximately 100 to 200 tractor trailer loads a day go back and forth through here. And they're pounding the jake brake. And all of these houses are so close to the road, they just vibrate when that happens. They shouldn't be hitting their jake brake. This is a 30-mile-an-hour zone. They're hitting their jake brake because they're going 70 and they want to get down. If they're going the speed limit 45, 50, they won't have to hit their jake brake. And we won't have to deal with the loudness and the vibration. It's really been a serious deterioration in the welfare of my neighbors in the last 5, 10 years that I've seen. One particular carrier He was just a single driver. He'd make 1, 2, 3 trips a day. Well, now he's employed 20, 30 drivers, and they're making 7, 8 trips a day to the bio place. Jake brakes are for mountainous areas and stuff. We got a little elevation here, but we don't need a Jake brake. Some communities ban Jake brakes in all areas that aren't a highway, like 690 or 370 or something like that. I'd like to look into that. Just finishing up here. And the last thing I just kind of threw on here. The other night, I went out and spent $40 on some fluorescent spray paint. And I went out in the middle of the night and I got my scraper and I scraped all the poles, the rusty poles that go up to the 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. And then I sprayed them with primer and then I sprayed them with the fluorescent orange. The next morning I got a chance to go out there and look at it. And you know, I'm not sure how much difference it'll make, but it sticks out like a sore thumb in that area because everything is like corn or weeds or whatever. And I think it's made a difference on some people. I'm just trying to think of anything that I can to try to make it safer. One last idea I've come up with today. There's about 6 or 7 telephone poles through here. And in other places, you always see people climb up and put on these signs and tag into the telephone poles that say, oh, we buy your houses, or we'll cut down your trees for you. Well, I've got some old campaign signs and I'm just gonna paint them white and I'm gonna make them look exactly like the 30-mile-an-hour speed limit sign. And I'm gonna put one on that pole, and I'm gonna put one on that pole, and I'm gonna put one on that pole, and one on that pole, and one on that pole. So now they're facing 7, 8, 9 of them in a row as they go down over this instead of just one. So, I know it's fast, 13 ideas that I have that I think that will make this whole area safer. I put my money where my mouth is. I've invested in this a little bit to show you the presentation. I needed it. I've invested in the radar because I've asked previous boards and they wouldn't. I spent a lot of my time making phone calls and I don't mind doing it. Give me some phone numbers and I'll make more phone calls. And I don't believe me asking this board should translate to Bob making all the phone calls. I think y'all get paid as elected officials. Y'all should be making it. And take this last minute to thank our town clerk and our 2 elected town board officials, Jeff Kudarakis and Kevin Rode, who have met me on X Marks the Spot and discussed a lot of these things with me that I'm passionate about. I want to thank you for taking your personal time to meet with me. And I want to invite the rest of this board. Don't just see why, come see why. Have a town board meeting out here and watch what happens, and you'll see that I'm not just making this stuff up. Passionate about it. It's not just me. Like I said, every one of my neighbors is a senior citizen, and I care about them. And I know I took my time too much today. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, I got a list of the things that we can deal with, and I got to work with Marty Ross from the county, but I'll contact them and then I'll let you know how it's going.
Bob, I would love to be included on the meeting if I could have 5 minutes with them, or they could meet me out on site, and I could just point out a few of these things.
If I can get them out there, if I can work that, sometimes I got to work around his schedule, so I'll...
I mean, none of the people are stopping there, but I don't blame them because they got a leak out into the road and then they're, man, it's jamming there. And I just think that there's just a couple things that we can do that would make the area safer. And
I got it.
And I mean, there's a lot of things in the town that we can do. I know that spot like the back of my hand, which is why I'm passionate about it.
I got it.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
My name is Ed Schmidt. I live at 3695 Hayes Road, as you know. First of all, I'd like to thank Chuck and Fred, who I've never actually met before. They're passionate about what they're doing. They're pointing out safety issues and quality of life issues in the neighborhood. And both of them have ideas. We're the ones who came to you with, we need the no parking signs up. We're the ones who came to you saying, hey, we need a speed study. We're the, and he's got his list. I challenge the board, come up with ideas of your own if you don't like what we're doing. But let's make some stuff happen. It's a big quality of life issue. It affects the voters in your area, and it's important to us. And from our point of view, nothing's happening. I mean, when you needed those rocks out of the park, you got that done like that. And how many weeks has it been since we've been asking for these no parking signs and you haven't even met yet? Come on. That's all.
Okay. Anyone else? Yes.
Hi, I'm Pam Sebastian out of 3682 Hayes Road. And I'm just kind of noticing what you have here equipment-wise and such, and we're talking about safety issues. Obviously, we're having enough problems of our own in our neighborhood. I do have numerous videos, not the vulgar videos, other videos that I would like to share. Actually, we did hire a military drone. We had to get clearance from Hancock to get that. But we've invested in our safety as well. And we've got absolutely phenomenal videos that I would like to actually share with this board so you can see what goes on in the neighborhood that you don't see. And I just am noticing some of your equipment. So I don't know if that's something that we can do here. We can share clips. Okay, yeah, that would be great. That would be great if we could do that. You know, we have a lot of things that we think that would perhaps open your eyes to the reality of what's really going on. It's really hard to try to explain it to you guys. You really have to be there and you have to live it. So hopefully we can do that and maybe get on, I don't know if we would get on the town agenda, but I can certainly call Dina and see if maybe we can get on for the next meeting.
Why don't you try to facilitate that with the town clerk, and then we can accommodate that.
Yeah,
I mean, you gotta
Possibly a work session.
Yeah,
okay, so should I just call?
yeah.
Okay.
And if you put it on a thumb drive, we can just put the thumb
Right.
drive.
Yeah, I've got everything on thumb
Yeah.
drives. We have a lot of, and we'll just kind of pick certain clips or whatever that you would be interested in. Okay, great, thank you.
Okay, great. Anyone else? Town board comments? Start with you tonight, Mr. Moore.
I read in the Messenger that the Lions Club did a fishing tournament for kids. And I just want to thank everybody who was involved in that. I've volunteered for many years in many capacities, and one of those capacities was doing a fishing tournament in years past, not with the Lions Club, with other service organizations. And it just warmed my heart, because I know what it looks like when a child gets their first fish, and you help them bait the hook, you help them take it off the hook, because oftentimes the kids are there with their moms or their grandparents or whatever, so it's nice to help out. So I just want to thank anybody who was involved in organizing and facilitating that fishing tournament for the kids. Other than that, I'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight, and everybody who's watching, and that's it.
I just want to say that I'm appreciating the comments from the public tonight, both for the Hayes Road situation, and Fred, you did an exemplary job with your program there. I mean, the two things that in common there are public safety and as well as aesthetics. So I hope we can figure out the way to fix those things. The only thing that came to mind is why I asked you about the shrubbery. It's just one little thought, but I really thought the state or the county or the town, wherever the road is, we own, or whoever owns the road, owns a good 15 feet from the edge of the road.
It's within that,
So I'm thinking that at the very least, as much as you don't want to cut down someone's trees, if it's on a town, if it's on a public, the public right-of-way, so to speak, well, and maybe Al can chime in on that, but I hope we can do something. It seems like we have to. Anyway, that's all I had.
Well, that's gonna be a county road, so.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean cut them down.
No, and I know my time is up, but I don't think the neighbor would argue with it. It's very unsightly, it doesn't go with the rest of his property. I just think he doesn't want to spend the money on it. If I offered to do it, if I got along with him, I'd go over there and have it done in an hour. So, I mean, maybe we can approach him, but if you come down that street yourself and look over, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about, how you have to get the front end of your road into it.
I go through that intersection a lot. I know what you're talking about. It's just one of the places I go.
Mr. Kudaraskis?
No, I just want to thank Fred for giving me a call so that I can go out and look at it, you know. Any neighbor, my number's on the website, you know, give me a call, I'll be out there. I know there's other people out here as well too that gave me a call when I was out there. Tiki Bar, I've been out there several times, right? With the code enforcement officer, I personally haven't seen anything, so let's say that. But Fred, I did see all those speakers, yep.
On Lamson Road, I don't know if cutting the trees back, because that'll just let people run the stop sign to Church Road. You know, that way they can see further, so they'll just do a rolling stop, as we've seen it multiple times sitting there. So I don't know if the cutting the shrubs back is gonna be, the trees back is gonna be a great answer to that. It's just gonna create one more issue to get run over by any.
You mean Plainville?
No, the Church Road, the people coming off Church Road, if those trees are cut back and they got that line of sight to the hill, they'll just roll through that stop sign.
Yeah, but they're not gonna be halfway in the middle of the road with.
Oh, no, they're not gonna stop. We've seen that. I mean, you know what's gonna happen. Saving one problem is gonna create the other.
Kevin, which is why I wanna put an oversized stop sign and a stop line, which we haven't had
Yeah,
yet.
they're both county roads. We have a county legislator, you know, Brian May, and we have the county DOT that we'll talk to. You know, but thank you for bringing it up. I'm glad the
Thanks.
police have been out there and writing tickets, and hopefully some people get the message. You know, it's not a town issue, but it's been on the news, you know, with the county side of purchasing property for White Pines. You know, the vandalism that's occurred for vacant homes, that the county's left vacant and not taken care of. I think it's sad that our county didn't take care of them after they bought them, hoping that, you know, somebody's gonna come in and take over, some microchip plant is gonna come in, but they haven't. And, you know, the county should buck up and take care of the problem they've created, because we wouldn't let a neighbor do that to their home. So, hoping the county acts upon it. Other than that, thanks for attending. You know, we're trying to address your concerns. Thank you.
Okay. This weekend, there's the Taste of Beeville, and it's on the island in the village, and several local businesses will be there, and I think it would be a good idea for people, if they didn't know that it was there, coming up to try and support our local businesses. I've been there, it's a nice event. They got a cornhole tournament. I think my wife and I, my wife wants she and I to enter it, so we'll see. You know,
Practice at the park.
Don't worry, I got my own practice. I got my own boards, so we'll see how we do. But other than that, I think it would be a nice event, and you support local businesses. So. Department heads, Mr. Rivazino.
I have nothing.
Mr. Merrill?
Halloween window painting is scheduled for Saturday, October 22nd. Registration is live for that now on our website, Facebook, and all of Beeville School District has received it in Peach Jar as well. So
I think they have trick or treating on the 14th.
and
For the businesses.
no, I don't know about actual that date. The Chamber of Commerce is presenting trick-or-treating within the village with at all participating businesses.
The same
So
day?
it kind of overlaps the
Okay.
window painting, yeah. So window painting is 10 to 1, and then the trick-or-treating is like 11 to 1 or 2, whatever, so.
How many spots are, do you know how many windows are available?
A lot. I can tell you what our goal is.
Oh, yeah, there's
So last year we had in the range of 175 windows, and that's per kid, or per, not just kid, but per individual.
Right.
Because it's open to everybody, so that's our minimum goal. So
What was the date of that again? The window
October
painting?
22nd.
Thanks.
And the window painting, they have to sign up for, right?
Yeah, they have to,
Yeah.
yeah. So any businesses, we've been going around this week, inviting businesses. So any businesses that we haven't been to yet, they can always go on, or they can always call the office. That's the best way to do it.
And if somebody wants to do the window painting, what do they do?
They can go on either Facebook, the town website, or if they're within the school district, then that family would have already received a notification from what's called Peach Jar, which is just a flyer distribution. So,
Okay.
registration, they can access the promotional flyer, which then takes them to registration on either Facebook or the website or that Peach Jar.
Good. Anything else?
Sure.
Nothing's in
I'm all set this evening, thank you.
Okay. We'll move on to the regular agenda items. I have a motion to adopt the updated zoning map for the town of Lysander.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Did we need some discussion on that, or, I know you had that up on the board.
Oh, I just wanted to point out what the actual zone changes were,
Okay.
but Al erased it, so.
Okay,
Wow.
it would have been a nice feature.
No, but I
Spend all
just,
that money for this system?
just for the record, all that work that I did earlier, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just gonna tell you the addresses of the zone changes and then the other change. 8671 Oswego Road, that was done in 2018. 3160 Cold Springs Road was done in 2018. And 3070 Belgium Road, which was done in 2018. And then there was a slight change that was listed as an AR40, but it was a PUD. It's supposed to be a PUD.
Correct.
And that is one of the other changes. So that's all the updates are.
Okay. Any further discussion?
This all went through the county and our board, planning board, and it's all good, right? Yeah. Is it?
Anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. May I have a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the intermunicipal agreement between Ballsville Central School District and the town of Lysander for fuel use with BCSD for the July 1, 22 through June 30, 2027 term.
I'll move that.
I'll second it.
Okay. You received the update, and we're actually getting a substantial decrease in the cost to the town with this current term. The administrative costs have gone down substantially, so I think it's a good deal for us. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. May I have a motion to authorize the town supervisor to sign the agreement with Bonadale and Company LLP regarding the audit for Lysander Town Court.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
So I did have a conversation with Greg Evans from Bonadale and the judges, so any modifications that we have to do will, both the judges and Bonadale were in agreement that we would take care of that. So, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. May I have a motion to accept the budget modification form submitted by the town comptroller regarding insurance recovery from the incident in the park and repairs to the park for damages done as a result of the incident.
I will move that.
Second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. May I have a motion to appoint Pamela Griffo as court clerk to Judge Manchione at a rate of pay of $20.47 as per the starting salary in the 2022 labor agreement.
I'll move it.
I will second that.
Okay. And any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. May I have a motion to appoint Blake Richards as court security retroactive from September 6, 2022 at an hourly rate of $40 an hour with a minimum of 3 hours.
I'll move it.
I will second that.
Okay.
Wait.
Blake Richards is a deputy that's taking over for Deputy Closey who retired. So, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. We are going to table motion G. Motion H, May I have a motion to declare the phone below surplus, a Polycom DVX 350 telephone with a tag number of 01351.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. And we have motion I, that goes along with our work session. We have a motion to authorize CHA companies to prepare the map plan and report for the proposed Mills Road Water District at a cost not to exceed $3,500 using ARPA funding.
I'll move it.
I will second that.
Any discussion? Okay, for the people that weren't here, Mills Road is experiencing problems with their water, and they need to form a water district. We secured a $50,000 grant from the county, and we're going to use some ARPA money to help them offset the cost. The cost is substantial, $595,000. So between the two grants, there's $125,000 that we're helping them to offset the cost, but this is the initial part that we have to go through in order to form the district. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. There's no need for an executive session tonight, so may I have a motion to adjourn at 7:32?
So moved.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.